Hey, what's happening, you guys? This is Coach Joel, and you're joining. Well, you could be joining. I hope that you're joining from the Total Body Blueprint Facebook page because we're going live again with Will. If you missed the episode on breathwork, we lit the entire internet on fire. It's actually been down for an entire week because this podcast was so hot and so on fire. I've been talking about it to multiple people within my circles, and they've been talking to me about it. You guys, if you missed it, it's episode 32, High Performance Breathwork. Make sure to go back. And what we're following up with now is Will's going to actually take us through live breathwork. This is going to be legit. This is something you're going to be able to play over and over and over again. So if you didn't watch episode 32, I want to introduce you to Will, who's not from the United States. He's from a place down under. And he's been practicing breath work and has an extensive background in body mechanics and human performance and human psyche. I mean, the dude is incredible. And again, I cannot pump this enough. If you haven't seen his promo video, it's fire. So what we're going to be diving in today is we're going to be diving into a live breathwork seminar with Will. So without further ado, I want to get Will on the line, and he's going to take this over, and we're going to dive into this. It's going to be a great time, guys. If you're listening to this on the podcast, get yourself comfortable because we're about to get in. So without further ado, let's bring Will onto the show once again. Will, what's happening, dude?
What a welcome. Thank you, brother. My heart.
Yes, dude. I can't help but just be so exuberant when I talk to you because originally you reached out to me. And, through the connection of Enlifted Coaches, guys, if you haven't checked out Enlifted Coaches, go to Instagram, right? Enlifted Coaches, follow Mark England. Will's an Enlifted Coach. I'm an Enlifted Coach. And if you guys don't know about that game, it's time. You got to get into it. But Will reached out to me, and I started following him, and I started looking at, man, what's this guy doing? And all this breath work, and I've been into breath work for a long time, but all the stuff that you've been doing that I know that you've done. I mean, this is about to be my first experience. I'm about to get willed up right now. But everything that I've seen has just been so incredible. And so if people didn't watch episode 32, can you give them a breakdown of what you do? What's the hell that you solve for people? How do you help people? And why do people need your services as a coach?
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for the follow-up. I would assert that I become less of a coach when I'm actually coaching as opposed to being a coach because I become this reminder because I truly believe in my heart of hearts that people know, when we come to this planet, this line of experience, the medicine is in us. We know what we are capable of. We know our stories. We know our abilities. We just forget along the way. And so my role, to which I've journeyed through many avenues, many channels, but my role that I play now is showing up to remind people, hey, you've got this magic and you can use it. You just got to go back to that. And so for the most part, my main application of coaching or guidance or reminding comes in the form of breath work. It becomes the vehicle in getting people to learn how to feel, right? Like this journey or this experience, this highest knowing or highest intelligence that we have is all about feeling and feeling what it is that lights us up, feeling our realities, feeling our relationships, our
Right.
jobs, our work, kids, and reminding people, hey, you can get back to that space so that you have all the answers, right?
Right.
And so
Right.
uh, recently I've been coaching people more towards finding flow again, flow state,
Yeah.
little to no friction, no obstacles, and just finding that flow in themselves, because everybody's flow is different, right? We all have our peak expressions in different avenues. And so when I teach people breath, or if I teach people breath work practices, it becomes less about the inhale, exhale, and more about, hey, what's going on in your body right now whilst you're doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's happening? What's happening inside? I want to know. You should be knowing. You should be learning. Like, that's where the answers are, right? Like, that is where the magic is. Yeah, that lights me up. Like, even talking about it right now, I get real lit up.
I can
Like,
see it.
it's dope. It's a cool journey, and I really enjoy it.
Yes. And we talked about, and I've come back to this multiple times throughout the week because this just blew my mind. When you were talking about the first 10,000 days
Mm.
and how our central nervous system is just getting mapped out at that time, you know? And,
Mm-hmm.
in the Western culture, right, it's being more and more acceptable of doing talk therapy and talking about
Mm-hmm.
talk therapy. Well, and what's the like running joke for a lot of people when it comes to talk therapy? Like, oh, let's talk about, what happened with your mom or dad, like what happened when you were a kid. And well, here's the thing: the first 10,000 days you're alive, like, yeah, you're a kid, right? And you're getting all this mapped out. And so this ingrains into us. And, you're talking about this, the flow. Well, we can get just completely plugged up, like blocked up, like, tightened up. And when people start releasing those blockades, I mean,
Mm.
that's what you're talking about, right? This ability to, like, not just you guys, not just like, okay, I'm breathing, okay, I'm breathing, but actually change happening within that central nervous system, with where there's synapses in the brain. I mean, there's real stuff going on, right?
Our environments from that 10,000 days is what changes the initial state of our physiology, right? Like, our physical bodies adapt to the environment. That's why in cultural settings and ethnicities, we all look different, is because we've evolved to our environments.
Yeah.
Like our skin color has taken on darker pigment because the environments and the temperatures were much harsher, much warmer, much more dense in light. And so our bodies anatomically change to those environments. And the same can be said about our behavioral programming, like we were alluding to that last session. The first 10,000 days as a child, you're not only getting taught how to be human, like, your nervous system is taking on the handbook that is going to set you up for life.
Mm,
All our eating patterns, our thinking patterns, our loving patterns, our
yeah.
breathing patterns are being developed in that first 10,000 days, and our physiology evolves and adapts to suit that. And
Right.
so, if the early stages of our 10,000 days where we're learning these things and taking in all this information, if that's high end upregulation, well, our physiology is going to change to suit that. And so
Right.
our breathing changes. Our breathing comes up into the chest. We breathe through the mouth more, and we get into this upregulated state of survival. And then all of a sudden, it's like, well, that's normal. We get to 30, 40 years old, and we're like, why can't I get rid of this stress? Why can't I close it down? Why am I breathing through the mouth? Why does my jaw look this way? Why are my teeth doing these things? Why is my soft palate doing this thing? And it all comes from when we developed in the early ages of adolescence and learning these things. And we're wondering why. And as you said, in Western culture, it's, we have a bad habit. I will call it a bad habit of closing down the things that go against that programming,
Mm,
right? The reason at some point in our lives we have resistance in potentially our relationships with our parents, or so on and so forth,
yeah.
is because at some point we've chosen to go in the other direction, and that's different to what we were raised upon,
Yeah.
right? Like, and so, without going too far down that rabbit hole, breath work brings us back to that space where we can actually check in and be like, all right, well, what is Will feeling? What am I really feeling? Because if I just say, oh, I'm going to go to therapy and talk about things, am I
Right.
really feeling? Or is it only at the point to which, and you and I have both done this with story work, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think that was the day, not I think, that was the day you and I connected, was your story work. And I remember I was sitting in the car
Oh, yeah, that's right.
outside our version of Walmart. And I'm sitting in the car and I'm watching you do the story work. And I'm just like, yes, go, Joel, get it.
Yes.
And like Mark's guiding you, and like he's talking about your breath. And that's what I'm watching. I'm watching the breath come in the body and how
Yeah.
your body's responding in language. But it wasn't to the point to which you identified with him that his heart was touching your heart. And all of
Mm,
a sudden, out it comes. Out it comes.
yeah.
Until that point, everything had been culminated around social or society's idea of talk therapy or talking about our feelings.
Right.
Until we actually feel our feelings and breathe into that space,
Yes.
it's just talking about our feelings, right? Like that's what it is.
Oh my gosh. You guys, like, are you serious? Listen, you guys, if you missed episode 32, this is just a snippet. It's just a snippet of what we got into. And the analogy that Mark used that I thought was really, really good, Will, is he talked about how good talk therapy is like a pot with boiling water, right? With the top, right? With the top on it. That when we talk, the top comes off, the steam, right, dissipates, it cools down a little bit, but the burner's still on. Because, yeah, sure, we talked about it, but like you said, did we really feel it? Did we give us the space to feel what's creating that pressure? And that's the real zinger is with story work and with the breath. We're able to feel the feeling, and then we can turn the heat down or even turn the heat off. Now, instead of, talking about it and just continuing to take off the top and take off the top and take off the top, we're actually able to turn down the heat on it because we're allowing ourselves to feel, right?
We get control of the cooktop. We do. We get control of the main system, and it's the perfect analogy. That's something I've witnessed in the last couple months. I substituted my time in my schedule of researching and study. I'm a big advocate for, I'll sit and read Carl Jung books all afternoon and then go do some
Right.
research on psychology or physics or something, right? And
Yeah.
I substitute that to go talk with more coaches because what I was seeing, and specifically in this transition that society and civilization is going through, is we're doing the right things, right? People are showing up, they're doing breath work. They're showing up, they're going through story work. They're showing up, they're supporting each other. We're saying I love you more, which is
Yeah.
beautiful. We're connecting to the trend, right? The trending
Right.
motion, we are connected to that. That's brilliant. But have you ever had, and this is very prevalent in our industry with coaches, have you ever had a mantra that when you said it, it landed, and as a part of a ritual or a habit or a routine to move towards this mantra, you said it every day, but there was just something off, right? And for
Mm-hmm.
those listening, wondering like, well, what the hell's a mantra? Like for me is I'm not proud of me. I am pride. And I say that to myself. I am pride
Yeah.
because I'm proud of many things, as a parent, as a coach, as
That's
a
right.
human. And so my mantra is I am pride. But it's one thing to say that, and then it's one thing to just be completely embodied with pride and go, whoa, wow. Is that what that feels like?
Yes.
Yeah, man. Now you have absolute license and autonomy to go and say to someone else, hey, do you want to know what pride feels like? Yeah. How do we do it? Cool. Take a moment. Let's take a moment. Let's set the setting. Let's get into whatever it is. Let's explore that.
Yeah.
And so getting people into that space to go, you're doing all the right things, 100%. But now let's get control of that cooktop. Let's get our hand on the spinner and go,
Yeah.
turn that down a little bit just for the moment.
Yes. Yes.
Control of
And that's what we're going to dive into today, guys. Will's going to take us through, and we're going to control. We're going to tap into it. And if you guys have never done breath work, this is going to be a treat for you. And I'm going to let Will guide me right through. I'm in San Francisco right now. I've been bouncing around. I've had meetings throughout the day. I've been with my nieces and nephews and like picking them up and then getting on meetings. And now I get to end my day because it's 5 p.m. here in the States. And it's, was it 11 o'clock in the morning?
10 a.m. on Saturday.
10 a.m. on Saturday. And where are you at right now?
New South Wales, Australia.
Yeah. So it's incredible that we were talking about technology just before this, but it's just like we're connecting halfway across the world right now, and we're going to do breath work, dude. And my mind is blown right now. So, Will, without further ado, the mic is yours. I'm going to be here doing whatever you tell me to do, man.
Beautiful. Well, let's start off. For people that haven't done breath work before, I like to introduce breath work as your own license. Okay, and it's like choose your own journey. I'm going to guide you and I'm going to give you specific techniques, but if any stage it feels too much or the feelings maybe becoming overwhelming and you're not ready to go there, you need to meet yourself where you're at. Okay, it's no, if you're a courageous person and you're like, I'm going to explore this and go a bit deeper, by all means, take that autonomy and go with it. But if at any stage it feels too much, just bring it back down to just light nasal breathing. Just breathe through here, and we can just lower the energy. The session I have picked out today, as I was saying to you, Joel, before we started, was with our business. We run a business called the Human Collective, and holistically we teach breath work, story work, and check practices. And within the Human Collective, we've created this segment called Breathcast. And Breathcast is a hybrid version of ROMWOD, breathwork, and then podcasting, all mixed into one episode.
Wow.
And what we've taken is intuitive coaching, matched it with specific frequencies that interact with the brain, and we initiate a specific response on the brainwave level, and it teaches education and provides an opportunity for people to explore breath 3 times a week. Right. And I can show you that link. We can link to that so people know where to go. It's a really cool opportunity. This is episode 1. So for everyone tuning in right now,
yes,
getting into this, Joel, you, my man, are going to be the first person to have this session. So
yes,
it's beautiful. Some caveats for this session. There's going to be some physiological responses that occur no matter what, and they're perfectly safe. And I want you to know that when they occur. The body will tingle or vibrate. If you are higher attuned to energy and receptive to energy, your body will vibrate. It'll feel like there is like vibrating on the inside of your body, and you may even shake a little bit. If it tingles, you'll feel it like it kind of feels like ants under your skin a little, not that dramatic, but it tingles. You'll notice a temperature shift. Depending on where you are sitting in a balance of energy, masculine or feminine, you will either get cold or hot during this session, depending on where your lifestyle is right now. You will feel lightheadedness, and that's because there is an increased demand for oxygen to be delivered to the tissue and an increased demand for carbon to get the hell out of Dodge. So you will feel a little bit of lightheadedness. So if at any stage that gets too much, by all means, bring it back down. Apart from that, I invite you to just get comfortable. You can be seated, kneeling, or laying down. For the first part of the journey, we take the music and we utilize it to guide us. Now, this is where the coaching feeling part gets into flow state and we make some magic. When you feel your mind take off, go with it. Because right there, that is the rocket ship for you to be on to explore what this all feels like. If it feels amazing, explore it. Why does it feel amazing? Even before we get started, what is the feeling you want to feel? Like, Joel, you've had a busy day. I imagine you've had high amounts of love hormones coming through, being the uncle for a majority of your day today.
Yeah.
What is a feeling you want to end your day on?
I'm ready for a release. Like, because I came here last night and it's been like, go. I'm ready to release, let go. So I'm open to receive my nieces and nephews' love and to be able to give love. So I want to get that block out of the way, right? With everything that's gone on, I want to release everything to be able to be fully present with my family and just be here.
That in itself, you've already put it in the quantum field just by saying it. So it
Yes.
exists, right?
Yes.
You're ready for that. So let's take our mind and our heart there. As soon as that rocket ship takes off, go there. All right.
I love it.
All right. Let's get set, shall we? I will get the tunes sorted.
And do you think
First,
it'd be best just for me to mute my mic so I'm not breathing into it, so I'm not messing with anybody else's breath?
oh, that could add energy for someone else listening in.
All right.
That could add energy. If you just take your seat back just a little bit, so you're not breathing directly into it.
Yeah.
If we can hear you or other people hear you, people connect to that, and that's a specific feeling that people need to learn as well.
Yeah.
Like when I was over there in the sun, I took my jacket off. Now it's in the 40s here, and I took my jacket off because I could feel your energy. So
Yes.
good thing. It's a good thing.
I'm in.
All right. So the first practice is in and out of in the nose, out the mouth, and it'll sound like this. I want the belly to participate. Every time you inhale, the belly comes out, and every time you exhale, I want you to actively pull that belly in. All right. Oh, let's do this. I'm feeling this. All right, fam. Listen into my cue. I invite you to close your eyes and get comfortable. Let's lift up. First inhale is coming up for the nose. Follow my lead. I'll let you know when to hold and when not to hold. Here we go. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, All right, we're going to come up for our first hold here. Take a deep inhale for me and hold. Let the body relax, feel into this space. Feel into the space. Take it back to this breath here in a minute. This little introduction right here, take it as a guide. Hope you create some space, open up and expand. Go ahead and exhale for me. Here we go. In, out. Keep going. Connect to that breath. By connect, I really mean feel it. Feel it come in. Feel it expand the body. You let it go. Feel it leave the body. Good. Keep going. Alright, here we go. Inhale, hold. Inhale for me. Hold. Release. Release from the body. Return to light nasal breathing. Be present with the body. Be present with the practice. Acknowledge the sensations that are happening in the body physically. Be a witness of how the mind is creating or shaping things. Take a deep breath in for me. Hold. Hold the breath, but relax the body. Let the fingers relax, let the toes relax, let the cheeks relax, let the neck relax. Holding that breath. In our breath holds, in those static moments, we're building up tolerance to CO2, increasing our ability to cope and deal with stress. Go ahead and exhale for me. Return to light nasal breathing. Keep the eyes closed. Stay present. As we transition into this next song, I want you to remind yourself of that feeling you told yourself you'd feel. With this, our speed's going to go up just a little bit. Same practice. In the nose, out the mouth. Halfway through, we're going to switch to the mouth. We're going to increase our rate to which oxygen is delivered to the tissue, but it's going to be intentional, and it's going to be beautiful. Listen to my voice. Here we go. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, keep going. Belly to actively participate. The more we can connect our physical being with the emotional and metaphysical being, the magic we create in this space. Go ahead and exhale for me. Empty the body, hold the breath on the exhale. Let that exchange of oxygen and carbon occur while we sit in this exhale hold, still holding. Through the nose only, take a deep breath in, fill the lungs, hold at the top. And with the mouth, I just want you to top it up just a little bit. And hold. We're going to remind the brain that we're still in control, taking our hand on that dial to turn down the heat. We're going to allow the down regulation to occur. I want you to purse the lips, the teeth stay together. And on my say, I'm going to get you to exhale with a hissing sound. It'll sound like this, like a flat tire or a tire going down. Go ahead and exhale for me, friends. As long as you can possibly make it. When you get to the end of that exhale, return to light nasal breathing for a brief moment. Light nasal breathing. As the oxygen returns to replenish the stores, diffusion has occurred. So oxygen has gone in, taken over the carbon. Carbon has left the body. We've created a chemical response. This is told the system we need to downregulate. We need to open up, create some space for expansion. Still lightly breathing, friends. As this last track guides us towards the end of our journey for today, I want you to breathe into your heart space. That doesn't mean physically. That means intentionally when we inhale, I want you to imagine it going to that space itself. And I want you to feel that. Give yourself permission to feel it, guys. That's what it's about. That's what this thing, this experience is about. Feeling it. Everything's going to be through the nose for this track. Go ahead and take a large inhale for me, nice and long. Pause. Back out the nose, let it go nice and long. Pause for me there. Take a large inhale, nice and long again. Feel the belly, feel the chest. Pause at the top. Let it all go out the nose. Pause at the bottom for me very briefly. Continue that pattern. Large inhale. Feel the belly, feel the lungs. Pause at the top. Let go out the nose. Let it all leave the body. Feel the body falling to that space. Pause at the bottom for me again. Same again. Inhale through the nose. Feel the belly. Feel the chest. Pause at the top. This time I'm going to get you to exhale and connect that exhale directly to an inhale. No pause at the bottom. Go ahead and exhale. Connect it directly to an inhale. And on your next round, I want you to remove both pauses. Keep the inhale connected to the exhale, exhale to the inhale. Circular. Connected. Take your right hand, put it on your heart. Your left hand, put it on your belly. Feel your hands move as that air moves through the body. Here's the real secret, friends. That air, that's life. You are breathing it in. My favorite part, just as we do at the end of every episode of Breathcast, bring a huge smile to your face. The universal language that the nervous system, the heart, the brain, and the gut understands. It understands it. We all do. Look at that. Look at that beautiful smile, friends. Come back into your bodies. Consciously thank your nervous system for being there for you, supporting you. Consciously thank your heart for opening. Thank your body for creating opportunity for you to experience this thing that we all love doing. When you are ready, feel secure in your body. To close the loop, you can open your eyes or you can keep them closed, totally up to you. But the first thing that comes to your mind when I say have gratitude, I want you to say that to yourself, and it doesn't have to be loud or verbal, but I just want you to say it to yourself 3 times out into the cosmos. Let's close that loop. Whatever it is that comes to your mind straight away, and I say, have gratitude. You say that thing to yourself twice. You even look different.
Dude. I got emotional there. I got emotional there. In the second part, the second song, I got emotional. There was definitely there's been stuff heavy on my heart.
Mm,
I've been critical on myself, a lot of self-doubt and insecurity, and breathing that through at that tempo and that pace. It was all bubbling up to the top and releasing. And then the gratitude at the end of what I said to myself, and it, everyone's gonna be different, but the gratitude was love. Was love, because this self doubt that I've been having is this love that I have been sending out and not being reciprocated. And then what I took is I created self doubt with that because I wasn't getting that love back. But what I'm grateful for is the love that I give myself.
yes.
And the love that I have to give,
Yeah.
regardless of whether it's reciprocated, whether it's seen, whether it's given back. That put a huge smile on my face, brother. Wow. Wow, man. That was it really brought me back to the breath work that I have been missing, to say it as frankly as it can be.
Yeah.
And so tell me about it. I mean, that was incredible. I'd do it again. And you're talking about this is something you're going to be doing. You're going to be putting out once a week, once a month. How do people 3 times
A week.
a week, and people can
Yes.
tune in or re-listen, or how do people
It,
how do people get in?
yeah, it would be. I'd be doing you a disservice to not acknowledge. Thanks for sharing that, brother. That is what it's all about. That's the
Thank
feel.
you.
That's the connection.
Yeah,
That's you being real,
yeah,
and that in itself is a journey to unpack because the fact that you're grateful for the love that you give and for yourself is the answer. The polarity to that isn't that you need to be worried about not having it received back. It's to know that they're not there yet, and you're still going to give them love because that's meeting them where they're at, right?
yeah,
That's meeting life where it's at because
yeah,
that's where you're at, you know.
mm,
And yes, 3 times a week we will be releasing 3 episodes. The first episode will be a brief practice that identifies the key factors of the theme for the week. Okay, so that in itself, that practice just sent is a down regulation tool, and
right,
the frequency to which we use in the music interacts with the brain to get the brain waves down as well, so that
right,
we're in that rest and digest. We're not freaked out, neurotic, and insecure. We are resting, we are digesting, we are here showing
yeah,
up. And that's when the emotions come forward because when we stop, even the most highest performing humans, when they stop, they're still human. We're all
yeah,
human.
yeah. That's right.
We are all we all eat shit and sleep the same
Yeah,
way.
yeah, that's
You know?
right. Yeah.
And so those feelings come up because we give ourselves a chance to go, okay, what's going on? What's going on? And the breath work itself does something. It chemically does something. That brings me to the second session that we do in the week. The second episode that we'll run in the week is an educational one. We do some breath work, but we teach about why trauma releases, how it
Mm,
releases, how
mm,
our stories are interacting with us. It's one thing to know our stories and to go through them, but to identify where they're present in our lives from a
mm,
psychological standpoint, like
mm-hmm.
that's like having a cheat code, you know?
Yes.
And so the second episode is educational, and then the third one, which is where if we'd gone a little deeper, uh, I would have interjected energetically with you because we're tethered right now. I would have interjected and got in to provide some support. But if we'd gone deeper and longer, I guarantee all those emotions still would have kept coming. And
Oh
they would
yeah.
have come to the point where the body just goes, oh, get ready, Joel. We're letting this go. And there'd be tears, there'd be
Yep.
shaking,
Yep.
cold, there'd be tremoring.
Yep.
And that's the body lets go. That's how it's like, man, we've been carrying this for 30 plus years, and now you're giving me a chance to let go. All right, here we go.
Here it is.
You know?
Yes.
And so the third episode is a guided breath work. It goes a little longer, but it gives people the opportunity to go, all right, well, if Saturday, Friday, whatever the day ends up being internationally, is the day where I'm able to let things go, well, I'm going to start my week by planning ahead. I'm going to be like, all right, breath journeys at the end of the week, breathcast. This is what I'm going to work on this week. This is how I'm
Yeah.
going to strategically allow myself space to get there and work. And so the 3 episodes a week give insight, like a preview trailer, education, packed in a form so that you can read it, understand it. It's
Right.
snackable, easy to digest. And then the third is like an opportunity to practice what we've been doing throughout the week. Um,
Wow.
this is held on our app, our online app, and you can watch it back. You can watch as many times as you want. Like podcasts do, like they hold
Yeah.
the data. It is there for you to select. I've even gone ahead and this is my way of being fun and a bit cheeky, is I've gone ahead and created topics. So if you're, let's say, to go to work, you're like, oh, I got to catch the subway to work. And I spend an hour on there to go to work. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's a thing in the States. It's definitely a thing here in Australia.
Sure. Yeah.
An hour just to get anywhere. But you're like, oh, I was rushing this morning. I didn't get to do my breath work. And I got an hour commute. Sweet. I'll go to Breathcast. And there is one in there that will say, commuting on a train to work, breathwork session. And you can go and press that and just be like, whatever it is.
Yes. Gosh.
So,
What's popping into my mind is we all talk about, and I work with a lot of high performers, Will, right? Like that type A type of people that those are the ones I go to. Why? Because I'm a type A, right?
yep.
I'm a type A who, has learned the techniques of, treat myself, slow down, breathe, right? All the techniques of, wow, how much higher of a performer can I be when I
Mm-hmm.
actually treat myself? Well, I actually have to slow down to speed up.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? No, I shouldn't say all. That's binary. But a lot of my type A's are like, well, I got to have my classes, and I'll line all my classes out. And I'm thinking straight out the gate, like the importance of breath work. And if I could go to my high performers, like, hey, breath cast, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? Whatever, whenever they're going to release, make time for it. Actually, I want you to skip your workout. I want you to do breath cast instead. You can do your workouts Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and watch the difference, right? If we had that time, I mean, I feel amazing right now. And we're talking a short amount of time, guys. And if you did this with us, you're probably sitting there right now going, oh my gosh, man, I feel amazing. Imagine if you did that 3 times a week consistently, right? And
And
you
knew why you felt amazing.
and what?
And knew exactly why you felt amazing.
That's exactly what I was going to say too. That you were guided, right, by a practitioner, by a breath worker, who takes you through it, who gives you the focus, just like your CrossFit coach, just like your yoga teacher, just like your boss, just like anybody else that's out there. Will is giving you a way to be guided, directed, and influenced in a way that I just see. It's amazing, man. It's incredible what you're doing. It's
I
incredible.
appreciate it when I receive that heart forward. I too coach, or remind high performers. I've coined the term coachpreneur. It's this transitional period of where high performing coaches are transitioning in and out of the space through their
Yeah.
own expression, peak expression, and that normally looks like an entrepreneurial style approach to life. And when I talk with these people, I listen to them. What are the pains? What can I help you with? It's not what can I teach you. I can definitely teach them something. I'm teaching them breathwork that they're like, oh wow, I didn't know that. That's cool. But the real value is in stopping and going, hey, slow down,
Yeah.
do this, because it's going to make what you're doing way better. You know,
Yes.
allow me to carry the load by guiding you. Just go here. Well, can you carry this for a moment? Yeah, I'll carry it.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll carry
Yeah.
it. You do what you want to do.
Yes. Yes. Will, my brother down here in San Francisco, he's for sure high performer, right? And just this morning, as we're going to Beak Room Yoga, he woke me up. I'm sleeping out in the living room, right? And he turns on Headspace, and I'm like, oh yes, I haven't done Headspace in a while. Okay, dude, I settled in, and I'm starting to get into my breath, and then it was over, and it was a 3 minute Headspace, right?
Yeah.
And so on the way, we were talking about, being able to slow down, and to be able to take time, to be able to nurture ourselves, and not always press down on the gas pedal.
Mm-hmm.
And we got into this deep conversation about how we can tend to check the box, like, nope, I gotta get my yoga in, I gotta get my CrossFit in, I gotta get this, I gotta get, instead of being able to go, you know what, I need to spend 20 more minutes on meditation. You know what,
Yeah.
I need to go for a walk with my shirt off and catch some sun. Or maybe I need to spend 20 extra minutes after class doing some accessory work. But tapping into being able to treat ourselves and recognize when we need to love ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and take care of ourselves. And it just seems that that's just not a thing, and it's with my type A's, right, and my high performers, being able to, like, well, I got this and I got that, and I have to do this and I have to do that, and you know what it seems to, and I really am interested in your response to this. I have found that with those high performers, they're putting more and more and more onto their plate because there's something missing inside of them. There's an insecurity, there's a self-doubt, right? There's two things I always say about any great entrepreneur, CEO, right? High. One, incredible work ethic. Two, a big wound, a big piece of
Mm-hmm.
self-doubt. And so they're constantly trying to fill that. And so the hard work gets them the success and so on and so forth. But they keep going because they don't know how to face that self-doubt, or they're scared of it. Is that something that you've faced too? I know we're going a little off topic here.
No, that's completely relative. Yeah, it's and that fire can be the fire that sparks them to want to be this high performer. 100%, it can be.
Yeah.
But there's one thing to have, and I was talking to my wife about this just before we hopped on. There's one thing to have the fire burning and motivating you, and not having water there to put it out. And then there's another thing to have the fire there, burning, motivating you, and knowing that there's water there to put it out should you need to put it out, right?
Yeah.
And my wife was asking me, she said, actually, it's so funny you said this. It's not, because all things are purposeful
That's
and on
right.
purpose. But my wife says to me, she goes, why do you think it is these high performers you've been coaching, and like I've even been working with like some like trying to help Australian music artists, like in
Yeah.
going into recording, like it's a stressful moment. Like I've been trying to, provide a bit of assistance to longevity on the road with music as well. But she said, why do you think that they just think that like speed, like they got to do everything and chock their plate full, and why isn't it? I said it comes down to one thing, and this is, and it hit me because I was like, what? I don't play computer games, but casting my mind back, I
Yeah.
remember the very first game I ever played was two specific games:
Hmm.
Alex the Kid on Sega Master System, and it was Super Mario on Super Nintendo, right?
Yes.
And she's like, okay, cool. I said, as soon as it goes one, two, three, start, what does the screen do? She goes, well, it starts sliding and moving you. And I'm like, yeah, it does, doesn't it? And do you remember all the details along the way before you get to the flag, the princess, or the big boss? No. You just remember moving along as fast as you can so that you can get to the end, defeat the boss, and get the gratification and the huge thing.
Yeah.
She goes, yeah. I said, yeah, that's high performance. Thinking they have to keep up with the screen. Keep moving forward as fast as they can to get to the end, to get the gratification, be like, yeah, I got the princess. Now what? Dude,
It's,
you just missed out on a whole level of beautiful stuff that you
yeah.
could have stopped and smelled.
Right. Right. Yes. And it's that constant movement. Like, gotta move to the next thing. And there's always, doesn't matter who I talk to. If it's not, hey, well, I got 3 kids in a business, or, hey, I'm traveling all around the world, or, hey, I'm a, professional athlete, or, hey, I, am running a church, or, hey, like there's always something. And that's where I'm sitting there. I'm like, yeah, but there is always something.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's always something, then why not slow down? Why not treat yourself? If there's always something, if the screen is always going to continue to move, why not slow down? I,
Here's the real kicker. When did we first start playing Super Mario? In our first 10,000 days.
yes, yes, right, 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 right.
Doing this for years, bro.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Um, we could, listen, guys, again, if you're listening to episode 33, go back, listen to episode 32, then come to 33, listen to it multiple times. I'm going to have Will on the show again. We're going to connect. I'm going to come to Australia at some point, Will. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. I'd love to meet you and your family and what you're doing down there, because you're doing some incredible work. How do people get a hold? Somebody listened to it and was like, "Man, I want this 3 days a week." How do they get a hold of you? How do they get going on this?
Yeah, for sure. They can jump across to our Instagram handle in our bio. We've got all our links in there where you can jump
Yeah,
in. So it's Harvest Becoming Human, and I think you linked to that in the last show notes. We can link
I
that
did.
again
Yep,
this time around. If you want to reach out personally, it's my Instagram as well, William NJ NJB, and yeah, I'm always available to talk and chat. But people can jump in straight away. Breathcast is live. I have people as of this morning subscribing to it and jumping in. It is in the palm of your hand whenever you need it, on your laptop whenever you need it.
it's fantastic.
Uh, but yeah, that's where we're at right now, and we are actually. My wife and I are talking yesterday. We put it out into the universe. Come July, August, we are, depending on the movement of immunization passports and whatnot, we are going to be going to the States, and we will be near you. So I will
Dude,
come first, and you can come back with us.
I'm gonna find you wherever you're at, dude. I'm coming to get you. If you're in the
Excellent.
States, I don't even care if you're on the East Coast, dude. I'm coming to get you, dude. That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, Will, thank you again for taking your time. This is 2 weekends in a row, guys. Will is joining us live right now from the future. All right. If you don't know, in Australia right now, it's actually Saturday, not in the States, it's Friday. So I always enjoy talking to Will in the future. I'm looking forward to meeting Will in the present.
Yeah,
Um,
bro.
is there anything else to cap off this experience?
Yeah, if at the very least, friends, if breath work it does something for you and it interested you, practice soft transitions. A good friend of mine, Jared, he taught me this thing of soft transitions. Whenever you stop doing something, create 2 minute gap to softly transition to whatever it is it's going to be next, and use that 2 minutes to just breathe through the nose. Just check in with you. Soft transitions.
Soft transitions, you guys. And he just waited for that little nugget at the end, you guys. That's a that's a low enough hurdle, guys, that anybody can do it. You know what? And if you feel like 2 minutes is too much, great. Take 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Do a soft transition, a couple breaths, because I can almost guarantee that most of us out there are constantly in our upper chest, breathing high the entire day, and to do a couple resets. Like I'm gonna do it when we get off this podcast. I'm gonna go through 2 minutes before I start packing my stuff up and go see the kids. A little reset, and you know where you can do that too, guys. And I'm gonna specifically call the men out. Is before you walk in the door to see your kids, to bring calmness as the man of the household. Sit in your car, go through 2 minutes. Go through 2 minutes, you guys. I guarantee you will walk in with more patience with your children, more love to your wife, and more acceptance of yourself.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the magic right there.
Dude, that's the magic. Wow. All right. You guys, I'm going to leave all the information for Will in the show notes, along with his YouTube video that I keep on raving about. I may have watched it 25 times now. You got to see it, you guys. You just have to see it, man. And you'll see how much of a pro he is with this video and what he's doing with Becoming Human and Harvest. I mean, this guy, you watch out. You want to work with him now, but before he's just worldwide. He's just worldwide. You're not going to be able to touch him. Will, thanks again, man, for joining me. It was an amazing experience. I appreciate you so much. Until next time, and when you come to the States, you got my number. Hit me up. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Beautiful. Thank you, brother. Love you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. We'll be going live again next week, episode 34. Actually, no, I take that back. It's not going to be next week because I'm going to run a 50K. First time ever in my life. I'm going to go run a 50K. And it's going to be rad. But we'll be following up with our next episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, you can check out the show notes to get a hold of Will, or you can reach out to me and I'll get you connected with them. Will, thank you once again, brother.
Thank you.